All right, gotta do some unboxing. Where's my cutting tool for that? Perfect. Hi everybody, welcome to All Games New and Old. I'm David Rodriguez, and today I'm going to be unboxing Horrified American Monsters. This is a follow-up to the original Horrified, which came out, I want to say a year and a half ago maybe, I could be wrong. But that featured the Universal monsters, so you had Dracula, the Mummy, the Creature from the Black Lagoon, Frankenstein and the Bride of Frankenstein, Invisible Man, and it was a really great family weight co-op. So they followed it up with this one, which has creatures that are sort of American cryptids from various areas of the country. So I don't know that these are as well known by a lot of people. I was familiar with some of them for sure, but not all of them. I only know some of them because I listen to some podcasts that occasionally stray away from true crime into weird stuff like this. So that's where I've heard of some of these from. But regardless, I think it could be kind of interesting. So let's take a look at the back. They've made it look like this cool newspaper printing here. So it's town overrun by monsters. Cryptids from across America have been drawn by an unknown force to terrorize the community. Work together to defend your home from Bigfoot, the Jersey Devil, the Chupacabra, Mothman, the Ozark Howler, and the Banshee of the Badlands. Each monster presents a unique challenge, and players can adjust the difficulty by playing against a new group of monsters each time. Save Cross Creek before terror overwhelms you. Very cool. And here's our group of monsters down here. You can see that we'll be playing against in this game. So I'm excited to check this out. If you've played the first game, then you know, well, unless you just disagree, that it is a very good co-op game. I actually played it last night and had a lot of fun. We just played against two monsters. We played against the Wolfman and the Mummy. And it was a great time. So, let me open this up. Alright, we're getting there. I do like the art on this one. It's definitely a different style than the previous one. But really good. Okay, let's take a look here. Urgent memo. Citizen, by now you are no doubt aware of the extraordinary circumstances facing the town of Cross Creek. I can confirm the rumors are true. The terrifying events taking place are the result of unrest among cryptids, a powerful and otherworldly group of creatures drawn to Cross Creek by an unknown force. The FBPI has never faced a greater challenge. Our resources are stretched to their max, and we need Cross Creek residents with extraordinary abilities like yours to help us turn the tide and keep the good people of this town safe. You'll be tested against some of the most ferocious and terrifying beings imaginable. But we are confident that together we will preserve. There's no time to waste. Meet us at the enclosed location to receive further instructions. You're not just a citizen anymore. You're an investigator. Alright. So, this is, I'm assuming, the board. Let me move this all aside for a moment so we can take a look. Okay, this is fascinating. Okay. Alright, so this is the back of the board. Has cryptid origins and sites of interest. And some photographs of, theoretically photographs, of where these monsters have been seen. So that's really interesting. Kind of shows you where they're all at. A few other interesting spots of interest in the world. The Marphalites. Monster Lake Champlain. Some of these are not in the game, of course, but interesting. And then here is, I'm gonna scroll it here. Well, here, maybe I can zoom out and actually catch it all. Wrong way. That's a little better anyway. So we've got all kinds of different locations, just like in the first one. Here is our horror track, which if that gets to the end, you lose the game. Other than that, some similar stuff. It's got a cemetery. I believe there's a farm in the first one. There might have been a city hall. Hospital for sure. That's where you go when your character gets defeated. The swimming pool. All sorts of things. There's some waterways here. So that's kind of neat. So it's a pretty board. It's much more brightly colored than the original one, which is kind of nice. I didn't mind the original one either, though, of course. So, all right. Let's get this back into... Okay, I'm going to zoom back in if you don't mind. Hey, I even zoomed the right way the first time. It's a miracle. Okay, so this is our instruction manual Now, I have not read this instruction manual. My understanding, though, is that the game is really basically the same as far as rules from the original. My hope is that the monsters and how you defeat them is going to be significantly different. I'm not sure. So we'll find out. But there's a rule book. Oh, I guess I usually talk about the page count. It's 15 pages of rules, but some of these are very specific to the monsters. So this is like the Jersey Devil page, the Ozark Howler. So unless you're going against those monsters, you don't necessarily need those. And a lot of them, if it's anything like the first one, will have most of the information on their monster cards anyway. So you may not need that. So when you take that aside, the rules are basically 10 pages. It's not too bad. Pretty quick to learn once you get going on it. I don't think it's too big a deal. So, all right. Okay. Oh boy, let me get these tokens and whatnot freed from captivity here. Let's see if I actually cut it. I want to be real careful because I don't want to like mess up the cardboard. So I think I got it. Yeah, I did. All right. So I'm curious if you live in a region that has its own cryptids that maybe aren't represented in this game. I'm curious what those are and if you'd want to see them represented in a game like this. Because I think, you know, more than the original, which was trying to stick with just universal monsters, there's a lot of room to expand this. I mean, I do not know all the crazy cryptids that there are legends about through the entire United States, but I know there's a bunch of them. So, let's see here. We've got, so the ones with the brown backgrounds are, I believe, going to be your citizenry, because this will, you'll have cards that'll tell you where they show up on the map, and then it'll tell you on their standee where they want to go. So, like Gus here wants to get to the bait shop. So, when they're on the board, you can actually get your character over there and help them to where they're going, which is good, because if they get killed by the cryptids, then it goes up on the Horrified meter, and you don't want to do that, because if it gets to the end, then you lose. So this is kind of neat. I'm not sure what this is used for exactly, but these punch outs, it looks like that original video of Bigfoot that I think everybody has seen. We've got some violins here. I'm not sure what they're about. Here's some of the character punch outs. I'm going to get to the characters more when we find their character cards. So, okay, I'll move that aside. All right. I'm guessing these are our item tokens. As you play the game, there'll be several of these in various locations, and more will come out as the game goes on. And you can use those to defeat the bad guys. Some of those kind of, there's like wolves and deers and goats and horses. I don't know what that's all about. I mean, I guess, I don't know how you use them to defeat anything, but it's interesting anyway. More tokens. Let me turn this this way. So this is your, I believe it's the Frenzy one, and that one of the monsters will always be frenzied, and so they have a better chance of moving around and doing stuff. It's possible to have turns where the monsters don't do anything because you pull a card that doesn't have anything to do with them. So this is interesting. So we've got like bear trap tokens here. I wonder how those work. I wonder if those are specific to a certain character or not. Here's one of the characters that you can play as, the agent. Let's see. I don't know if he has an actual just like name. I think it's just the agent. So that's interesting. All right. I don't remember if the first one was like that or not. And I just played it last night, so I guess it probably was. So they'll each have special abilities and a starting location, and a number of actions they can do. So he can add 1 to the strength of any item you use. Ability is always in effect and doesn't take an action. That is actually what my character was last night. I was the scientist, and she had that ability as well. So different, oh wow, these are coming. All right, these are popping out. I'm just gonna pop these out, and we'll look at them one at a time, because they're falling to pieces here. Okay. All right, let's take a look at these, the rest of them. All right, you have the Psychic, whose ability is place your investigator in any location with another investigator. That's cool. I like, in games like this, I like characters that have a lot of movement. That's always useful for sure. Let's see. We have the journalist. He has no special action, but he can do 5 actions instead of the 4, which is more typical. So that's pretty good. That we had a character like that last. Actually, when we played last night with the original Horrified, somebody had the mayor, which had that same thing, and she actually got more done. Like, she defeated. We only played against 2 monsters. She killed both of them and was the only person to actually manage to save a civilian. So the rest of us, I don't know what we were doing. We were dealing with some of like the minor things you have to do to defeat the bad guys. All right, so we've got the Mountain Man. He only has 3 actions. You can place your investigator in any space. We had a character with that. So it looks like the character abilities on this are very much the same as the original. The cryptozoologist, place your investigator in any location with a monster. The jock, pick up items from an adjacent location. We had someone who could do that. And the scout, move any investigator or citizen to one location. She's got a vicious-looking dog there. That's kind of cool. So this character reminds me of somebody, and I can't think of who. Is there like a cartoon or something where maybe there was someone that looked like this? Please tell me, because it's driving me insane. I don't know how I'd begin to look up that information up, but oh wow, okay. So in the original, there was like a cloth bag that you pull the tokens out of. Oh, this is nice. It's Velcro. Oh, that's kind of cool. This has more. It's like a little. It's like the same material that the reusable shopping bags are made out of a lot of the time. So that's interesting. All right, that's fine. I don't hate it at this point. All right, I'm gonna look at these monsters. I don't know if I'll remember the win conditions of all the ones in the original, so I don't know if I'll be able to tell for sure right off the top of my head if this is repeating the same thing or not. So you have Bigfoot. You have to get photographic evidence that he exists, and you have to put in. You turn a footprint token to reveal 1 Bigfoot photo tile. At high school, turn any item or slide to swap tiles until all the tiles are in the correct position. Okay. Interesting. All right. The Banshee of the Badlands. I'm not familiar with this one. I've heard of banshees, but I don't know about this specific one. So she uses the violins. Okay. Chupacabra. I know a bit about that one. Strange one, from what I've heard. I've never heard of it attacking people, but supposedly it sucks it sucks the blood of goats. Chupacabra, my understanding, means goat sucker. So there's that. Ozark Howler. I think I've heard of that, but I can't remember anything about it. So at the abandoned mine, either reveal a tracker token or solve a revealed token. Okay. So some of these I'm going to have to look into more to really understand what they're getting at. Mothman, I'm fairly familiar with. Gotten kind of a lot of popularity lately. I feel like I see a lot of memes now with Mothman lately, so I don't know what that's about. But it looks like Mothman might be the one that uses those bear trap tokens, I'm guessing, but we'll see. And the Jersey Devil. I've heard of the Jersey Devil. I don't live in New Jersey. Maybe people there know a lot more about them. I don't know. But I am familiar with that one. Kind of interesting. So I like them. They look cool. So let's see. All right. We've got the dice, which you'll roll when the monsters attack you. Let me pull this out here. Every turn it'll tell you how many movement the certain monster does and how many dice it will roll if it's in a space to roll dice. So they'll have, let's see. They have 2 sides that are blank. They have 1, 2, 3. So they got 3 sides that have that symbol, which means that that is a hit. And then the exclamation mark, that is going to be unique to each creature. So when that pops up, when you roll it, you see what the creature's card says about that, and then you do whatever that says. Here are the stands for the characters and the villagers. So not real exciting to look at, but there they are. And we've got the cards, which I may just look through these real fast. I don't think necessarily going to be super exciting, but we'll see. I can at least give you an idea of what maybe some of them are. So we have our monster phase and investigator phase reference cards. Always love when there are reference cards. There should always be reference cards, in my opinion. So, let's see. So some of these, I'm assuming these are going to be the monster deck, and this is going to tell you, I'm guessing, who comes out and who moves. So some of them are going to be citizen cards, and they'll just bring out a citizen. Then at the bottom here, it'll have symbols that each one is related to a specific monster. So if you're playing with the monster that's there, you'd go ahead and move it, the number it says here, and then roll the dice it says there. You'd also put out item tokens based on the number that's at the top. In this case, it'll tell you to put out a certain villager out and do whatever it says. Let me get to some of the... Art's really good on this, by the way, I think. Very cool, very cool. Bellhop looks terrified already, but... Alright, so... A lot of this one. Okay, so yeah. It's like this one, it'll have some information, like if you're playing with Bigfoot, you'll do whatever it says here. In this case, remove all footprint tokens from the game board, place Bigfoot at the swimming hole. If you're not playing with him, you just ignore that part and you go on to the bottom here where it'll have the icon of the cryptids that you can see if you're playing with one of those. Mothman. So, yep, some for each monster. Pretty cool. I think it looks like it's going to work very similarly to the original game. I don't know if there's really any significant difference or not. It looks like the characters are all basically the same as far as their powers go, although they're called different things, of course. But okay, so I'm going to look at these and try to remember which one is which. I don't know if I'm going to have a lot of luck. So this is the Jersey Devil. You know, the models on here, they're not amazing by any stretch, but they do the trick. You know, they're all right. They don't need to be super stellar for this, I don't think, personally, although it's always nice, but keeps the cost down. So here is the Mothman. It looks really cool. I am going to butcher the story of it a little bit, but my understanding is that when sightings of him have been reported, usually a big tragedy follows. I believe the first reportings of him happened like maybe a day before this like bridge collapsed and like a bunch of people died. Crazy, weird stories, and you know, now they keep bringing them up. Okay, so this one is, was it the Ozark Howler? It is some kind of howler for sure. I'm just not sure if I have the right name, but anyway, I believe that's which one that is. And let's see. This is the Banshee of the Badlands. As someone who has played D&D, and I know that's not where Banshees originated from, but I always liked Banshees as a character or as a monster type to go against. I say that, but then also I was like, man, they're mean. I don't know what they're like today. I think I want to say in 2nd edition, if you didn't make your saving throw against them, you just died or something like that, or you aged a ton, something like that. I don't remember, but it was ridiculous. So here is the goat sucker himself, Chupacabra. You know, like, the thing about him, I mean, assuming that I'm right about it, I may not know all the stories, I'm sure I don't. If you don't own goats or have goats in your life in some way, do you care about Chupacabra? I don't. I wouldn't. Well, go ahead, mess with goats and do whatever. All right, here is Bigfoot. I think everybody has heard of Bigfoot. Probably the most well-known of these cryptids, at least in the States. I would argue maybe Loch Ness Monster is as big a deal or as popular. I'm not sure. There's lots of people who say they saw Bigfoot at this point, and there's all kinds of stories, if you look online, about Bigfoot. Some of those stories are real weird. Just to give you a heads up, if you didn't know, people will say all kinds of things that happened with Bigfoot, and that's about as far as I'm going to go into that. So, that is the game. That is the unboxing of this. I'm hoping I can review this kind of soon-ish. I'm not going to be able to get it in before Halloween because that's right around the corner when I'm recording this, but I will get it sometime soon. I think a lot of people are probably curious about how this is the same or differs from the original. I know I was unsure, and I decided to just go ahead and take the plunge anyway. But that is what's in the game. I hope it gave you some kind of an idea of what we're looking at here. And if you like this video, please hit like and subscribe and click the bell icon so you can know about the next time I put out a video. Other than that, I look forward to seeing you all around the table again at All Games New and Old. Bye.